Hey, what's up? It's Kit. Time for another video. Today, we'll be doing something out of this piece of wood, and there's a little bit of carving involved. So what's gonna happen is, more than likely, I'm gonna have you guys strapped on my neck while we do this. All right. So as you can see, there's a little bit of sunlight because it's daytime. And most of the time when I film, it's actually not in the morning. It's because of this damn thing. But we have to start really early today because there's a lot to do with this. This is a very, very simple DIY. And I hope you guys actually do, kind of do this, because it's really something that's very easy to do. I just drew a simple pattern right there. And just so you have reference, we're building something like this. All right, so this is something that I have made. Okay, and as you can see, even the weights, we've made that. We have a bit of experience. All right, so it's going to look something like this. Okay, so probably a bit fancier than that, but it's gonna be in the general direction of that thing. Okay, now as for tools, this pencil, just to make the outline. For carving, I have a carving knife. Now, we will start with actually sharpening this. It's already very sharp, but I'm still gonna, it's just my practice that whenever I start something, I have to at least polish. Okay, not sharpen, but at least polish this. Okay, we're outside. We have a honing steel, which we will regularly use to keep the edge on our knife. And as you can see here, we are just going to slowly get into this. Would have been easier if it was balsa, but I wanted a harder wood to work with, just so that our eggy will be a bit tougher. All right, so now, very important for this is you have to have a sharp knife. Okay, now we just get the outline, really, not something that that's difficult to do. This part here is going to be the difficult bit, but you actually just cut like that. You can do it slowly, and you get to the point where I didn't even bother cutting this, because it'll be very easy to snap later on. Okay, so just like that. In the scale of lure making, this is probably one of the easier lures to make. It's a good lure to start with. See, this wood isn't that complicated to work with, and you just do it like that. I mean, there's easier ways, of course. This is just the way we're doing it now. I'm showing you guys from this piece right here. And you can just snap it off. It's easy. Okay, now you have just that to work with, and always put some space to the lines. If that's your ideal, you just basically kind of stay there. So you can see we have the outline of the shrimp there, and we're pretty close to where we want to be. All right, so we've just finished carving this thing. Okay, so initial carving, which I think is fine, you know, we roughed it out. Now we have sort of like a shrimp shape here, and there's a few things that we need to do. What I found is that number 100, what do you call this, sandpaper actually cuts, when it comes to this, cuts really well, and it's good enough. It's rough, and then you can polish it off with a lower grade sandpaper. But for this, you know, just check exactly the flattened sides, which parts are not equal and all that, and it's easy to correct with 100 grit sandpaper. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. After sanding it with 100, we go to 120, and that's pretty much our finishing on this. This is actually used 120, so it's actually quite dull. And when you finish with this, you'll end up with a nice finish. Okay, so we've pretty much finished the sanding bit, and for the sanding bit, what we did was to sand it with 100 and then sand it with 120. So the 100 actually knocked the sides off and rounded it out like so. Okay, and now what I want to do is actually get the dust off of that. And for me, what works is this wet wipe. I just wipe it down. I know a lot of people, a lot of lure makers are probably cringing right now, but that's fine, you know. This is my way, and I'm not looking for super perfect. I'm looking for something that works. All right, so I'm showing you guys so that you could have an idea. Maybe this is something that you won't do. Maybe it would be, okay. But I'm doing this so that I just have all, like absolutely all of the dust taken off, okay. And why I use a wet wipe is because whatever liquid's there is actually quite fast drying, okay. And man, the mosquitoes were killing me. So basically that is clean, free of dust and all that. And what I do is just put it near the fan, okay. And I have a fan here next to me, and I am just literally just putting it to the side here, because the next step is going to be how we're going to waterproof it. So right now we're just making this so that it is going to dry up, okay. So I'm going to use a paper clip here just to weigh it down, and then putting it near the near the fan. Okay, so basically I'm doing this, and I'm just gonna put it in the part of the fan right here. so that it dries up. And it's fast, it's relatively fast actually. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay, while I prepare for the second part. For my pilot hole, I am choosing 1.5 mm. It's tiny, I know. So we're gonna put that, alright? Because we're gonna put a tiny pilot hole and it's not gonna be easy. Okay, so this is relatively dry now. Okay, normally I would have this on a on something. Okay, and there you go. So I'm just gonna drill pilot hole. And I'm gonna use a bigger drill bit later, but the front one is always what gets me. Well, if I screw this up, let's just say I screwed up big time. So I'm gonna take this slowly. For the front, this is pretty much it. So I have to be very careful. So I'm doing this really slow. And once I have enough depth, I put the pedal on. The pedal to the metal. Alright, so I have a hole here, I have a hole there. Now this one is going to be enlarged, but the one up front is not going to be. So what I'll do, now that I have a pilot hole, is to take a size 2 bit, and I'm going to bore that hole bigger. Okay, so this is going to be where the prongs are going to be placed. So I'm going to put a hole here, and the prongs actually have like a stem of sorts. So we're gonna insert the stem there. Now, where do I get the stem? I think I mentioned earlier that we need donor eggies, okay? And candidate number 2 right there. So this one's damaged. Okay, this one's damaged, so I really don't care much about this. So let's go outside and we will take the well, there's 2 things that you need to take from here. Okay, so there's the prongs, which we will take, and then the other is actually the weight, which we will use. Okay, we will use the weight. And mind you, when I bought this is a set, and all of them suck. So here's the solution. So we're just taking these for the hooks, and yeah, I mean, we can make the hooks ourselves, that's fine. It's just that it's faster this way. Okay, and the next thing that we're actually gonna do is have a hole dug up here. So we're gonna dig up a hole here that we're gonna use to put the weights on. Okay, and the weights, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I'm probably gonna do it here. I'm just gonna like try and do it, but the weight is also such a challenge for this. And we're also gonna do something very different for this. We're gonna wrap it. Okay, we're gonna wrap it in cloth material. So after waterproofing this, we're gonna put okay, so we're gonna put this on a barbecue stick right here, and what we're gonna do is waterproof it. Okay, and that's gonna come in next, right after we actually take this off, relieve it of its prongs. Alrighty. Yes, and this is how I do it. Hammer right there. There's the crack. Just hit it, okay, like so, and it's cracked like that. Okay, so once we take this off, be very careful. You can see that it actually has that part there, and then here you have weight. That's lead you can recycle right there. Okay, so we take this, and then this one right here, boom, just like that. Okay, and then we can clean this outside, inside. This is pretty much trash, the whole the rest. So again, we have this, which we will recycle, and we have that. There's a swivel here, which really we don't need. All right, so I showed you how I liberated this, and if you check and see here, there we go. Alrighty, that's the new home. What we need to do is just clean this up, and this is just bits and pieces of the material there. And what I do is just take a cutter, okay, and then just clean that up. Be very careful because these are sharp, and there's no other way to hold it, unfortunately. And also be very careful that you don't cut the stem. You can also use an old pair of scissors, but because there's glue involved, this is just easier. When you're using tools and wire, always make sure you can see everything that you're doing. I'm using a vice grip, and I'm using this as an eye tool because I want to form an eye. Actually, let's use this. Alright, so this is a wire forming tool, of course. I'll link this if you want. Okay, so just form an eye. Now I'm purposely using a long piece, and this is a number 10. Okay, number 10 wire from Maylene. So okay, just fold that, and then now I'm very specific with this eye. Very specific, because I want to make it look like it's a solid piece. Okay, and there's a trick to it. You'll know what I mean in a bit. Okay, so I do this, right, and has to be equal. Like so. Okay, now what I do is take my vice grip, and you see that where it's even, I am going to put the vice grip, okay, I'm going to show you right there. You see that? So I'm not going to start right there. I'm going to start where my fingers are at. Alright, see? So the eye is right here, and then I'll open this into a V. Oops. It needs to be very tight. Needs to be very tight. Okay, so you see that? We have to close it. There you go. Okay, that's good enough. We're gonna have to do this twice, by the way. There we go. I put away my drill. That's unfortunate. Okay, so what I do is just make a twist here. Okay, whichever direction you prefer. Again, depends on what weed you smoke, but it's really up to you. Now I'll try to show you guys. This is difficult, but I'll try to show you guys. Okay, so like that. Okay, V, and then we just twist. Now what I want is to make it super close. Okay, the twists. So I have to really fold it like that, twist like that, baby, and I'll make it long. Okay, so it has to be tight. Okay, I'm just gonna make this extra long. I know I'm not gonna need that much, but I'll make it extra long so you guys can see. Okay, so it's just like that, and then we cut it. Okay, so you end up with something like this. Righty. Now you see that bit is no good. We cut that. It should be like that, so that it's easy to put inside, like so. And then you have to twist it in, and you have like a sort of a little screw that will help you. Okay, and you see that? You see that? If I twisted it all the way there, what would happen is that it would look as if, well, one would be on top of each one of, well, you know what I'm talking about. See? But with that, you can see that it's actually quite clean. And see, it's pretty straight. So that's it. Okay? Now that it's there, see how deep it goes. Okay? Like so. And remember, if it's twisted to one side like that, it's fine, because you can actually untwist it later on. Probably better if we used a pair of pliers. There. Okay, so now what we do is put super glue on this thing. I'm gonna use my vice grip. It doesn't have to be tight. Okay, now if I can put it, okay, so see, all I have to do is just make sure that the glue is around there, so that's covered in glue. Okay, so basically what I did was to just insert it like that. Now all we have to do is just insert it like so. You have to do it fast. Okay, now take that off, take the excess. Okay, have to be fast, otherwise it will set. Okay, make it as straight as you can for the most part, like so. There we go. So straight as it can be. Now you see that bit right there that has a hole? Okay, we'll fix that. This is gonna get dirty. Okay, baking soda. Alrighty. Okay, you put glue right there. Okay, around the eye, like so. Okay, so there's glue right there. Okay, and take some baking soda. Okay, I'm gonna attempt to catch it with this. Alright, and then just put it over like so. Okay, trying not to make a mess here. So that pretty much glues everything in place. Okay, right there. And then what you can do to clean that up, number 100 sandpaper, and then just sand it off. Alright, so a bit of glue right up front. Okay, just to start things. Take your twine or your piece of rope, whatever, thingamajig. Just put it there, okay? Right at the front. And we're actually going to wrap around this and make sure that it's actually drying up. There we go. So that's dry. Take a sharp pair of scissors and cut it as clean as you can. There we go. Okay, now we twist this as we're actually turning and covering. Okay. Alright, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to actually start putting the pedal to the metal on this, and just putting glue here on the side so that I could stop anytime. But I'll see you guys when this is done. Okay, so we're at the last stretch here, as you can see, and actually looking rather spiffy. Alright, so now what we do is we glue this. Alrighty, so very important that we glue this properly, because this, you don't want this to come out. So a little bit of excess glue there just to be sure. Okay, now remember, I haven't finished this yet, so I'm gonna stick this in there. Okay, and then when I stick it in there, I'm gonna take this and wrap it around. Okay, so that is going to go like that, and we're just going to wrap this up like that. Okay, wait for things to dry up. Okay, so there we go, as you can see there. Now there's still a gap there that I want to cover, just because we're already here. We're gonna put a bit of super glue so that things will stick, baby. Okay, I actually went ahead and did some processing here just to see where we were at and where we're going. Okay, so now actually take this, boom, just like that, and as you can see right there, that looks cool. Okay, so now what we will do is actually take the fuzzies off, and then we're gonna stay at the back here. Okay, and we are going to see these white parts. We're actually gonna burn them up a bit, because we don't want them to be white, we want them to be kind of brown. Okay, so staying there, do that. The glue actually makes it so that it burns, so just be very careful. You don't want to burn the house, or do you? Okay, we want some parts to be dark. We don't want the colors to be even. Okay, now we do that by burning off some of it. Okay, so right there you can see that the color's uneven, and that is good. Okay, now we take this. We want it to be relatively stiff, actually. Okay, like that. Now you need your barbecue stick, and you need super glue, and you're gonna cover this with super glue, all of this. Oof. Be very careful when you're doing this. Probably good if you do it outdoors. Now this is critical. I'm gonna leave this and let it dry on its own before I touch it. So the next step we're gonna do is actually drill a hole here for the weight system. And while we wait for that, we're gonna do another eye. Okay. Similar to what we have here up front. Okay, so look at that. That looks wicked, actually. Right? I could just see how nice this is. I'm gonna set this aside because I don't want it to whiten up. Okay? Because if we blast this with the accelerant, it will look like it will have white parts, and I don't like that. But look at the burnt parts now. The color's brownish there. There's some unevenness to this whole thing, so it looks quite mean. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside. And I'll see you in a bit. All right, so here's the plan. We will make an eye. Okay, so we're gonna put it here where it's deep. Okay, we're going to actually go like this. Okay, we're gonna go like that. We're gonna bend it a bit so that we have a lot of purchase. We'll see. You know, I'm not fuzzy. All right. It's weight, and the only pressure that's gonna be there is the weight. So we'll make an eye. Okay, same thing as the other one. Probably make it a bit bigger actually. Let's do that. Okay, so like that. Very particular about this because I don't want it to look weird, actually, out of place. And sometimes, you know, especially with these things, it just kind of looks unbalanced. Alright, that's the eye right there. A little bit of a fixing thing. Make it rounder. Okay, there we go. Okay, again, vice grip needs to be very, very secure. Okay, and as per earlier, we will clip it there, not exactly where it enters the hole. We want it to be a bit farther, and we want the wraps to be very close to each other, and we'll make a good length. Diagonal. The good thing about the sinker though, when we put on is that it self-centers. So I'm not too worried about it, even if we kind of screwed up a bit. So if we did that, see, there we go. That's kind of centered. We could always fix where it sits. Okay, now all we have to do is just put glue on this sucker. And then we can insert it. And how we attach the sinkers is actually via the split rings. And all we have to do is just actually get a small split ring, and that should be okay. It's not load bearing, so it's something that we can get away with. Okay, put this there. My biggest concern here is actually water intrusion. And we're gonna make sure that that doesn't happen. Alright, so there we go. That's in there. Okay. Again, because of our wire, we can actually position it center. Okay. That's it. Now we'll put glue. Just kind of at the base. Like so. Just so we know that water's not going to intrude there. And we use our trusty barbecue stick to spread that around. Okay, and see, the thing is, the beauty of this is that once it's set there, okay, and we zap it, it actually kind of masks everything. It's just gonna blend into the color or the cover that's on there. Okay, see, now all we have to do is kind of center the wire so that it is straight. Okay, just do that by eye. It's no biggie. There we go. Now there's some whitening here, and then we just kind of wipe that with our fingers and it should go away. Okay, so we have the attachment. Now all that's left really is the eye plus the wings, so to speak. Okay, now there's a bit of exposed fabric there, and there's, okay, that's fine right there. If you see somewhere that's kind of dull, okay, just put glue, because that's actually exposed fabric and there's a chance that it would take on water. Again, we're already in the final steps here. I forget how big these are. I'm pretty sure I have them on a label somewhere. Okay, but I want these to look like that. Look at that. That's huge. Alright, now these are not gonna stick on this unless you glue them. So what I'll do is I will actually put super glue. Okay, how do you fuse the end of this? And you have to have a long length, because if you don't, not gonna work. Alright, so take a lighter, burn off the end until they melt, and then squeeze. It's gonna hurt, okay, a little bit. Okay, just like that. And then we cut this even. Okay, not the easiest thing to do, guys. Alright, so let's see here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you see it? You see it? Okay, so we cut this even in the center. Alrighty, like so. Cut it there. There we go. And you end up with these right there. Okay, now all you have to do is actually stick this there. Okay, that's it. Okay, that looks good. We just need to press that thing down and zap it. Okay, so, and then in the process we also spread the glue. There we go. So you can see there, that looks pretty freaking good. Okay, now we spread the flash as much as we can. The more you spread it, the more it will actually kind of look like a fin. Now We'll finish it off um, with UV glue. Okay, and what you UV glue here is just the base. Okay, so that's just right there, that part. And then zap it. And that is it. So it's dry, looks like that. Do the same for the other side. Again, just gonna be the base, just for protection. Okay. Right there. And your eggy is finished. Alrighty. At least this part right here. Now, I'm gonna show you exactly how it looks like with the weight. Okay? Very important. I am gonna go with an oval split ring. Okay, so you can see there, that's actually quite tiny. Small one. Put this on here. Oval split ring because it self-centers. Okay, so just a small split ring there, and we'll put a for slow sinking we will put a 5-gram sinker on. Oh my gosh, it's challenging to put on. Okay, there we go. Really? Okay, so there's the sinker. That is the slow sinking sinker, and that would be very slow. Now when we work this, it will actually kind of knock on the wood, and kind of will also act like what do you call this, a knocker. Okay, now obviously when you pull this up, that will move just like a feather would, and we can adjust the weight by switching the weight. Probably easier to put a snap here, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, so after this, I'm actually gonna put this in a small aquarium and see exactly how it floats, and film it so that you guys can see exactly how this thing moves. So put that there. Just that I have to fill up the aquarium, and it's actually a test tank, and it takes so much time to do it. Heavy. Alright, so there we go. Heavy configuration, and definitely weighs it, and you can see the balance right there. It just shifts, boom. So that's exactly how it's gonna be moving. Okay, so it's gonna go like that in the water. So you twitch it, it goes boom, whatever direction it goes, and then same thing, it will bang, go down, and it will go like that. On the drop, more than likely, because this is buoyant, it's probably gonna also move, wiggle and stuff. Alright guys, so the aquarium's too small, and I could only do up and down, and it's not much, it's a small one, so I don't know, maybe down the line what I'll do is actually do an underwater video of this if I have access to a pool. But what it does is actually it shimmies. It shimmies on the way down. Okay, and it floats. It floats like this. So the weight obviously gets it down quite fast, and we could adjust the weight. So that's pretty cool. I think what I'm gonna do is actually paint this like an orange or something, you know, just for added attraction. But I am actually quite happy with how this turned out. Okay, so I put like some parts that are burnt right there, just so it kind of looks, you know, there's sections that are different, you know, there's parts like that. Overall, I'm actually quite pleased with this. Textures there, coating, and everything is really covered by the super glue, so it looks like it's plasticized. Alright, so that's it. If you have questions, and again guys, this is very easy to do. Hopefully this will encourage you to actually make your own. Okay, this is by far is not in any means a work of art. Okay, but I'll tell you what, if you put this in front of a cuttlefish or a squid, I'm pretty sure they're gonna bite this just as they would with you know, any eggy. At least here, when with the squid are actually very under harvested. Okay, so yeah, that's it. Certainly will work better than the ones that I have there that are quite questionable. Alrighty, so that's it for now. Thank you very much for watching. If you have questions, drop them in the comment section. If you haven't yet and you want to learn more, click on that subscribe button. If you want to learn with your friends, click on share. And if you learned something in this video, give it a thumbs up. Alrighty, so that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Class dismissed.